All right, National Signing Day. Now, things have changed over the years because you have the early signing day, but the class for San Diego State completed for 2024. Sean Lewis back with us in the home of the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760. John and Jim, Coach, great to see you earlier today with your press conference with the media. Officially, it is signing day. You have obviously a large class. When you go back to the early signing window, a couple of additions here today. How do you feel overall? I mean, you've only been on the job 9-10 weeks. How do you feel about this overhaul and this class that's coming in?
John, great to be on with you guys again. It's good to see you as well. I feel great about, the guys and the families that we were able to bring and to make a part of our program. And, a good chunk of them, joined us at January here for the start of the spring semester, as we're mid-year enrollees, and added a few more today, and the rest of the crew will get with us in the summertime. But really happy with where we're at and really excited about the future and what we're building here on the Mesa.
First 10 weeks here, Coach, for you, what's been the most enjoyable part being a head coach again in, college football here at San Diego State?
Yeah, I mean, just getting to know the community, getting to know the team, getting to know my way from our new home to the office without having to use my GPS. But
yeah.
It's such a joy to, be back in the head chair, to have the staff assembled, to have the team back here, and to be pouring into and serving these guys. I mean, that never gets old, to stand in front of your team and to, give them some guidance and equip them with tools that are going to make them successful on the field, but in life. I mean, it's really a true passion that we all have on staff, and that is really the most enjoyable thing about what we get to do.
By the way, spring football is coming, and then, of course, the season, and season tickets are available at GoAztecs.com. Sean Lewis's first season as head coach of the Aztecs. Season tickets available right now at GoAztecs.com. I asked you about this earlier, but for our listeners, I think the people are curious. I mean, it's a year-round sport. A lot of college athletics is year-round. What are the priorities now for San Diego State football?
Yeah, the biggest thing right now in our first phase of building this 2024 team, right, is to establish our identity with instilling our culture and to get our guys physically fit and trained and ready to play with spring ball coming around the corner, right? So with this strength and conditioning phase, Coach Sobel really has, is running point with the team, and the guys are training hard 5 days a week with some lifting and some running combinations. We actually got to get in the meeting room with our guys for the first time with recruiting coming to a close, so that we can install the offensive and defensive schemes that we are implementing. So right now, again, it's a lot of learning, it's a lot of teaching, and getting the guys physically ready to play so that as we transition here in early March to spring ball, we can then turn these great athletes that we're training into the best football players that they can be.
Going through recruiting process here and signing day and all the players that you've brought in, whether it be through the transfer portal or, signing them to San Diego State, for you, what was the method of your madness going into recruiting this upcoming recruiting season?
Yeah, I mean, you first got to evaluate what's on your current roster and where the holes are. You don't want to have any sort of gaps in any position groups in terms of classes or competitive depth. So we really wanted to attack, those perceived holes that we had within the roster. And then for us, there's kind of a deep evaluation process that we do. So we had to do a little bit of speed dating and work through that process very quickly in terms of identifying the young men at each position that have the physical traits that we're looking for to be able to play the game at a championship level the way that we're going to in Snapdragon Stadium here. And then you got to make sure that you find the right guys that are made of the right things, right, that have the character components and are aligned around how you want to do it, that want to be developed, that want to grow holistically. So those two, the physical evaluation, the character evaluation, and then you got to get to know them so that you know how to recruit them, so that you can close them and get them to be a part of what you're doing. So the staff did a tremendous job. We divided and conquered, went all over, but was really proud with the number of kids from California that we kept home, or some California kids that went far and wide that we were able to bring back home.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Aztecs football coach Sean Lewis with us right now, and John and Jim. We've heard so often, and I've heard it from you as well when you've spoken about Southern California. I mean, can you speak to it? You've recruited the whole country. You've coached all across the landscape, including, of course, at Division I, a head coach at Division I, obviously a coordinator in the Power 5 this past year. When you think about recruiting in Southern California, does it compare? It's right there with any recruiting area in the country, is it not?
Yeah, it really is. I think it's one of the most talent-rich areas in the country. As you allude to, I've been very fortunate. I mean, to work all the way up in the Northeast at Syracuse, and now all the way down here in Southern California, right? So I've seen it all, recruited all the areas, and I think California is one of the few states that can actually be in the conversation for the greatest state with the best high school football, and California's in that mix. And to have the amount of talent that we do in our backyard, I mean. In the 10 weeks that I've been on the job, there was only one opportunity and one time where I chose to leave the state to recruit anyone else because of the talent that is here. And the one kid that we left for, Heath, we were able to reel in. But other than that, I was able to, just get in the car and drive up and down the coast and stay local and be able to have more than enough talent that's in our backyard to build out a championship roster. And that's really, really exciting about this opportunity here.
Going into spring camp and games and upcoming season, your quarterback room, coach, you brought in a couple quarterbacks here, A.J. Duffy and Danny O'Neal. For you, is there a leader in the clubhouse right now for starting quarterback, or is this going to be a true open competition this upcoming spring here for the next upcoming season?
Yeah, true open competition. Besides obviously through the evaluation process, I've seen them spin it during that and everything. But again, it's something completely different to see a throwing session versus knowing how the kid processes and is able to adapt to the speed of the game at this level, when there's a three technique trying to come run through and rip their head off, right? So until we kind of get into it and we start playing real ball, there won't be anyone who kind of separates from the pack one way or the other right now. There's just a lot of learning, a lot of teaching that's going into it. And it's going to be wide open, right? Not just at that position, but across all positions, to where the guys who give us the best chance to win consistently at a high level, those are going to be the guys that are going to play.
Coach, one more before you go, just about the passion of Aztec fans. I know you've heard from people. I know you see it on campus. I know you've seen San Diego State basketball games, for example, and I think you've had recruits with you at times over the last handful of weeks as you completed off this 2024 class. What do you think about the level of enthusiasm and support that San Diego State has in Southern California?
I mean, this community is unbelievable, and I can't go anywhere, whether it's on campus or within the community, to just go get a local coffee or whatever the case might be. But anywhere I go, I'm getting recognized. People are excited as all get out. And I can't wait for all those people, that have stopped me and told me how excited that they are to, buy their season tickets and to fill Snapdragon, because you can certainly feel the energy and the excitement within the community. It's truly second to none. And I tell you what, it energizes us and our staff each and every single day to make sure that our community is proud, of the product and that we're putting on the field, and that our football Aztec alums, the Aztecs for Life, are extremely proud of the program, and that we keep it that way.
Final one for me, Coach. I love your social media game. Applause to you for everything that you've done on social media. I mean, you have enough stuff to worry about, but to put out tweets or whatever it is on social media every single day, I think Aztecs fans really appreciate that. Tell me if I'm right or wrong here, because I've been monitoring your social media throughout all the recruiting process and transfer portal. Every time you've tweeted out a emoji with the sunglasses, kind of, next day you see a recruit commit to San Diego State. Is that something, that little hidden message in there for Aztecs fans when you tweet out there?
It's always a good day when you get good players to join your family. So there might be a little bit of subliminal messaging there to alert everyone that some good news is on the way.
Yeah, Jim had the theory too when it was, you have a class of 30 or 40 players, that when you had like multiple emojis, that meant multiple players.
Get ready for a lot of announcements maybe in the upcoming future here.
It's been really fun, Coach. It really has. I think for Aztec fans, for the media, it's been really enjoyable to watch the way you guys go about your business. Congratulations on everything, including wrapping up this 2024 class. We'll touch base soon, and best of luck as you get ready for spring football.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate all that you guys do, and go Aztecs.